You know the very big saying about opportunities. Opportunities come but once. I've said that countless times, honestly, and a lot of us have actually said the same thing countless times. Now, the big question is, do opportunities actually come just once? I really don't know. Let's find out. I guess so, or maybe not. My name is Genevieve, and you're more than welcome to my YouTube channel, Staying with Eve. On today's episode, we are going to be talking about opportunities as well as the ability to make impact passively. Before we dive into the big story, I am so glad, I'm very excited about something. I anchored an event. Oh my God.
Thank you very much. I'm so glad and I'm so honored to be standing in your presence here today.
By the way, that is the Dignified Future Women Foundation. So over the weekend, we had our very first program, the Future Woman. And the foundation is all about helping young women, empowering young women, basically building them up to face societal challenges. I want to give a very big shout out to Ma Edith Young and Ma Chimdema Ibekwe. They really put me out there, and I'm so glad for that opportunity. So now let's take a backstory as to how I eventually got onto that stage. So during the whole planning process, I was preparing to actually do my videography work for the event. While we were rehearsing and everything, she was not like, you know, you're anchoring the event tomorrow, right? So you have to. I was like, wait, hold up. Wait, I'm anchoring what? Hey, I battled with myself for long. Like, what was I going to say? How was I going to do it? What if I get there? Like, there were so many what ifs in my head. Trust me, fear is actually a thing of the mind, and it's going to play the worst scenarios that might never really happen, but it's going to bring all of them. It's never going to play anything positive for you. And I was asking God to just help me build that boldness and everything, because it was taking a lot from me. Opportunities will come and I'll run away from them because I'm just scared of what the outcome would be, right? And then here it was presenting itself on a platter to me, and I was like, ha, God, no be so. Eventually, during the battling process and all of that, I remembered something that had happened last year when we were writing our exams. And that's to show you how very providential God can be. Usually for each paper that I would write, we would have a classmate come around and pray for the class before the paper starts. So for that particular class where my friend and I were, there was no one to take the prayers for the class. So one of the ladies, she came across and she reached out to my friend. She was like, please, can you take the prayers for this class? My friend was like, no, I cannot. I could see the constant battle within herself. She was just like, no, the lady was trying to persuade her, you just have to. You're the only one that I can actually ask to do this. So you just have to, please just take the prayers. It's not a big deal and all of that. Me, I was just by the side, seriously reading what I don't even know, because I don't even want them to even notice me in any way possible, because me. So eventually she said something. She was talking to herself, but me, I was hearing her conversation with herself. She was just like, help me, Holy Spirit. And she now said, what's the worst that can happen? And immediately she said that, what's the worst that can happen? She just stood up. I was like, let's take the prayers today. I say, yay. I'm this kind of person that things that I can't do and someone else does them, I mean good things, I tend to appreciate them. Like, I tend to hold on so strongly to them. And so she made the prayers and she came back to her seat, and I looked at her. I was just like, I'm very proud of you. When she had asked me to anchor the program, the first thing that came to my mind during that moment of fear and everything was that same event. It played back exactly like that. And I found myself saying those same words. What's the worst that can happen? It's funny, right? But that's just how it was. That single action of her fighting with herself, trying to know whether she should go ahead with this or not, it played an impact in my life, and I replayed that same thing. So that brings me to the topic of impact that I want to talk about today. When it comes to impact, we tend to see impact in a larger scale. There's that. But then there's the impact that comes from just living your normal life. Yes, people are actually watching, and that's very, very scary. The fact that you're just living your normal life, but then people are watching you living your normal life. There's a place of passive impact. Passive impact in the sense that you're not trying to actively change something. It's a different ball game if, let's say, I want people to stop using phones, and because I want people to stop it, this is just an illustration, by the way, and because I want people to stop using phones, I begin to actively do things to make people stop using phones in this life. That's an active impact that you're trying to make. In this scenario, it's not an active impact, it's a passive impact, because she was literally struggling with herself, trying to get past the phase of fear. But then there was someone watching, and that person that was watching was myself. I was watching her doing all of that. But eventually, come months later, that particular scenario helped me get past something as well. And it stood out for me when I was going into retrospection, thinking about it. It really stood out for me, and it made me ask myself questions. It made me ask, at what point have I really done something that must have or that might have impacted someone's life in the same way? It brought that consciousness to my mind that living is not just as casual as we make it seem. Yes, getting by life, getting past life is not as casual as we make it seem. At what point do we come to live with the consciousness of making positive impact? That's a struggle on its own. Like, imagine continuously living your life bearing in mind that every singular action you take has a way of affecting the next person. I really don't know how to go about that. So I'd say opportunities come, maybe more than once, they do, but the only difference is that they might not present in the same form as they had done before. But if we're going to go by the rule of opportunities coming many times but not presenting in the same way they had initially come, then I would say opportunities come but once, because each opportunity is very unique to itself. So that's like, oh my choke, I don't know. But I think the challenge is the ability to recognize opportunities when they present and go with it. That's the problem. Most people find it very difficult to recognize when an opportunity has come. So because they cannot recognize it, they cannot act on it. Thank you so much for staying with me and watching me blab all through. I just truly hope that you had picked out one single thing from this video, and then that you'd run with it for the remaining part of your lives. Have a nice day.